welcome to this new activity about graph transformation. So the question here is, describe how the graph of each function is related to the graph of one of the 6 basic functions. So the first one is g of x equals negative x plus 3. And here, to get the graph, we're going to start with the absolute value of x, which is a basic function, on which we'll apply a reflection in the x-axis. So we'll apply a reflection in the x-axis, and we will obtain the negative absolute value of x. So we obtained our negative sign here. Then to get g of x, we have to modify our negative absolute value of x to negative absolute value of x plus 3, which is a shift to the left by 3 units. So it's a shift to the left 3 units. So the sequence to apply on the absolute value of x to get g of x is a reflection in the x-axis, then a shift left 3 units. Let's move to the second one. The second function is g of x equals x minus 4 squared minus 3. We're going to start with the basic function x squared, on which we'll apply a shift to the right by 4 units. And by applying this shift to the right 4 units, we're going to obtain x minus 4 squared. Then we'll shift down 3 units to obtain our function g of x. So we're going to shift. It's a vertical shift here. Shift down 3 units. And we're going to obtain x minus 4 squared minus 3. Now let's move to number 3. In number 3, we have g of x equals 7 minus square root of x. Obviously, the basic function which will be used here is the square root of x, on which we'll apply a reflection in the x-axis to get the minus sign. And then so after making this reflection, we're going to obtain negative square root of x, and then we'll shift up. So shift up 7 units to get negative square root of x plus 7, which is equal to 7 minus square root of x, our function g of x. Now let's move to number 4. In number 4, we have g of x equals negative 3 times the absolute value of x. Here we have a multiplication by 3, and the minus sign is a reflection in the x-axis. So we have a reflection and a stretch by 3. So let's start by the absolute value of x, which is our basic function here. We'll apply a reflection in the x-axis to obtain the negative absolute value of x, and then when we apply a stretch by 3, it means we're going to multiply our function by 3 here, our intermediate function by 3, we'll obtain our negative 3 absolute value of x. Okay? In the next one, we have g of x equals negative 0.4 x squared. So again, it's a reflection and a multiplication by 0.4, but here the multiplication factor, which is 0.4, is between 0 and 1, which corresponds to a shrink, not a stretch. So let's write this. And our basic function is here is x squared. So x squared reflected in the x-axis gives negative x squared. And then by making a shrink by 0.4, by 0.4, we'll obtain our negative 0.4 x squared. Okay, so each time you have to identify first the basic function you're gonna start with, and then do the sequence of operations which are needed to obtain your final function. And this sequence is not unique. You may have different sequences, but each time you have to check that your intermediate steps are correct. It means the operations you are applying give your desired result. Okay? Thank you for your attention and see you in the next videos.